Good morning. Audio seems to be working. Let's turn on that webcam. All right. And want to get my preview over here so that I can see the chat. And audio is good. Apparently in my preview window, it allows me to click the subscribe button to myself, as myself. That's a bit odd. Okay, but I do have the chat open. Oh, that's interesting. On my iPad, the sort of like the preview window is bleeding over into the chat window. So that's interesting. All right, but happy Tuesday morning. Today we're going to continue on with the Fahrenheit to Celsius conversion application that we've been building with Rust. And also, I need my glasses. This is the fun part about these early morning streams, is that I'm still waking up too, but I have found that I am significantly more awake the rest of the day because I have taken this time to wake up my brain. So I hope that whenever you watch this, it like doing something like this in the morning helps you. Okay, so with that, before I begin the actual code, I want to give a shout out to fshoot. Is that? I hope that's your how to pronounce your username. Anyways, fshoot on Watch the Stream VOD, and then it came in and created an issue in Learning Rust, which Okay, thank you, phone, for giving me a warning about wind. Gave a really awesome explanation about why that match that I was attempting to do a few videos ago, why that wasn't working. So the basic part of it was that I wasn't really understanding the type system and how functions, they have to return a single type. They can't return two types. And immediately after that, we did go on to learn functions. And I didn't sort of make that connection when it said, oh, you need to now give a type in the function in order to return anything at all. So that's what's going on here. And there is this syntax here, which allows you to sort of force tell what is going to return from parse. And apparently this pattern is called the turbo fish pattern. And if we go on this link, it's just a bunch of unsigned 64-bit integer fishies. It's actually it's too early in the morning to think about what I want to say for that, but it is cute. Okay, so what that means is that I can do something like this. Well, I can then parse and then say I want it to be a U32. And for example, if I didn't know what type it would be, I could do multiple times and say like, hey, try it with this, try it with this, try it with this. So anyways, I want to, this is in the Learning Rust repo, which I have linked down below in the stream description. And it's in the issues. I've labeled it as an information label. So please go take a look at that. I think that this is a great supplement to the book. This is very professionally written and is definitely helping me out. So I'm going to be using this information moving forward. On top of it, he mentioned about a problem that I had yesterday morning when I was looking for the conditionals, because we had just learned that, and I had eventually created this. If F equals the temperature symbol, then return the temperature symbol. Else, if C is this, return a temperature symbol. And then I also mentioned, like, well, I wish there was some kind of OR so I could do this. Well, it turns out that Rust does have an OR, and it works exactly like this. Well, maybe not, because now it's saying that there's an error. But the idea is that what I was looking at online when I looked for if was if let, which is subtly different than if. So there's a few things in Rust that are a little bit interesting. I sort of feel that it's going to be one of those languages which feels like really strange and weird, but then once understanding it, the power that allows you to have is probably going to be pretty amazing. But even outside of this if C, it was mentioned that I can use a match instead. So first I want to try this OR. So instead of like else if C, it's really just going to be an if else. I'm going to delete to here. Also, while there is an exit with a standard process exit, that is apparently not the recommended way to exit out. But instead, there is a macro called panic that is apparently a better practice. And so it's listed also down here. And it's just used exactly as you would think it would be. Panic and then your strings. That way it will crash to the desktop or crash to back to the terminal and then put this in here. So this will be please enter C or F. Now, so if I want to do this, if F or C, what I think, so this is supposed to be returning the string. This does seem to be a string right here. And then we have mismatch types, expected Boolean found reference. So I think because this is not becoming a Boolean here. And one last thing is, and if I could find it, yep, that's pause, good. Danny on yesterday's stream also commented on it, saying Rust does support these Boolean operators, and linked to the appropriate page here where we can say, okay, let x equals false or true, false and panic. But they may be applied to operands of Boolean type. So they can only be Boolean type. So the problem with this for me is that what I want is more of this match type thing, because I'm trying to match, and if only takes true things. And so I could say if, oh, it wouldn't be like that. It would be like this. If F equals temperature symbol or C equals temperature symbol, then this would work. And then I could potentially copy this again and do a capital F or a capital C. So by doing this, we'll be able to cover, both little, lowercase f, uppercase f, lowercase c, uppercase c, which is kind of exactly what we want, but it's a little bit ugly. And so I want to also explore that match. But before we do that, let's go ahead and compile this. So it's going to be cargo run. Let mutation input temperature. Remove this mute. Input symbol. Where is that? Main RS line 4. Input temperature was get temperature. Am I not? Oh, I think because I'm now doing everything in other yeah, because I'm now doing everything in other functions, I also don't need to make these mutable because we're not converting them later. We're doing all that conversion in the get user input function. Also, where was that parse? It was get the temperature. So here we're telling it to be F32, but I think I can also do this where I say I want you to be F32. Nope, it didn't like that. Use colon. Still doesn't like that. If you meant to specify type arguments, help or use. Where did I leave this? There you are. So the big thing here is parse. Right, and so this is where I could say like, okay, I want to let guess equals guess.trim parse u32. Am I not calling it as a function? Oh, it's the opposite, so right here. This should work, and so it shouldn't change anything. The entire application should now work exactly as we thought beforehand. Cargo run, what is the temperature you want to convert? 32. Is this in C or F? If I do C, input 32C. So perfect, exactly what we wanted. Okay, so with that being done, the last thing I want to do before we sort of continue on and start adding new features. I also lost my chat over on the side, so I want to get back to that. Nope, that was the wrong button to click. There, that's what I want. Also, I noticed that I got a whole bunch of subscribers last night and a couple this morning. That is because CJ last night at Coding Garden sent a few of his sent a shout out to me, sent a few of his subscribers over to me. So welcome to the Brooks Builds stream. Thanks for joining this this family we've got going here, and I hope that you enjoy your time with us. All right, so let's turn this into a match here. So we want, and I wonder if I return like without the, I can do the let, but I wonder if also, I'm going to comment this out to begin with. If I say, because I could do return match, I think then it's temperature symbol, right? Because what he has here is matched and then just the string, and then it's whatever you're matching on. So it'd be temperature symbol, and then it's going to be what are we like what are the different possible types. So we have unreachable expression. Oh, can I not? I wonder if I don't leave. Oh, well, I haven't finished yet. Okay, so if I do C, then, for example, that would be then just C. And if I found F, that would be F. And if I found, and I think, yeah, then it would be this underscore character. And it would be whatever I want it to be. So in this case, it's just going to be a panic. Please enter C or F. Now this is error. It's like a long error. Match arms have incompatible types. Expected struct standard string found a reference. Okay, so these would need to be converted to string. And you expected struct standard string found reference. So I'm not sure why I'm getting this in here. I'm guessing like either because I have a string or the definition of like what a string is and what I think it is slightly different. Because what you are, like you should be a string, like temperature symbol should be a string. At least that's what I thought is coming back with get user input. Unless that's not a string. Get user input dot message. Get user input. Well, yeah, so it's returning this toString thing. So that should be a that should make it a string here coming in. Then I'm comparing to here, found reference, because this is not a string. I have to convert that to string too. Feels a little bit odd. Expected one of, oh yeah, because I can't really do that. So I wonder how normally I can't just like leave off the quotes, have it sort of figure that out either. Wait, I can? Okay. Let's, you're red now. I don't know why that is. Cargo run. Expected one of, oh, it needs to be a comma. That's why, because I'm not returning. I'm auto returning. And now, unreachable pattern matches any value, unused variable C. Oh, because now it thinks these are values. These are variables. But if I do that, it thinks that these are, well, it says like, okay, you're clearly a reference. And I wanted standard string. Found type static string. How interesting. I wonder if that would be better for me to change this type. I can't move my mouse, otherwise it changed there, and I can't point at the screen because, I mean, I guess I could do sort of that thing, but I don't, the window doesn't work enough. Like my camera doesn't let me point over there enough. Okay, so reference static string. I wonder if I do this. Reference static string. Would it be just reference string? Oh, definitely not. Expected type, static, standard, string. Found type, standard, string, string. Okay, well, I got it to do this now. The problem is I might need to come back and fix everything else to go with it. Okay, so in main, we have input temperature, print line, so that this is all fine. It's not making any assumptions about types in here. Now I'm getting message, it's temperature, or that. If I don't do that, and we just let it be a reference, let message equals is this temperature symbol. I think I can use, can I do that? No, it must. So it wants it wants an actual string, expected type, standard string, string. Oh, and get user input. So get user input takes this standard string, string, but can I say I want a reference to a string? And you are going to be a reference too. So you're fine there. Now get temperature symbol. Let's see what's next that's yelling at me. Get temperature symbol, missing lifetime specifier, expected lifetime parameter. This function's return type contains a borrowed value, but there is no value for it to be borrowed from. Would it be like static? Nope, did not like the keyword in that location. Okay, so get temperature symbol. We call that there. This returns a reference to a string. Let message equals this. Oh, and then now I want match temperature symbol. Match arms have incompatible types. Expected to have these references. Will that work? No, it's still found type static string. Match temperature symbol is get user input. We pass it the message, which is now just expecting in a reference to a string. This returns that, but I want it to return a reference to a string also, which means that this is not going to be toStringed. User input, okay. Expected structure, standard string, string, found string. Note, expected type, standard string string, found string, standard string string. All right, lots of standard string strings are going around here. And that's okay. So we create this variable, let mutable user input equals a brand new string. Print line, this, we pass it the message. Then we read the line, we pass it in user input, and then we expect this to happen if it fails. Now I almost wonder if can we have like a match on here and return directly. But that might like open up to different problems if I tried to do that. Okay, so is it because, let's just see what we get when it's just on its own. Okay, so expected reference found struct standard string string. So that's because we have this string new. User input is, well, can I just return the reference? Yes, I can. So can I do that? Okay, so, oh no, you cannot. Mismatch types, found string, note. Okay, so this is trimming it off of there, but it can't do that. So what I probably want to do is shadow this and do let user input equals, have a parentheses there. Oh no. Oh wait, that's the return value. And then I want to return a reference to user input. Expected struct standard string string, found string, found type reference string. This one's a little bit weird. Ampersand empty. Unless I really don't need that now. But it looks like I do because now, so then I got, okay, found type. Mismatch types, expect struct standard string string, found string. And I could even try things like putting it into a reference here. I don't think that'll work because this is going to be the exact, yeah, it's just going to be this problem here. So what I'm running into is not understanding how we're able to sort of convert between the different types, because that's what the real problem is going on here is saying like, okay, there's strings, there's reference to strings, there's of course characters, and there's just the reference types and not reference types. What are you yelling at? Missing lifetime specifier. This function's return type contains a borrowed value, but there is no value for it to be borrowed from. Help consider giving it a static lifetime. So is that like, expected colon found get temperature symbol? That's interesting. I'm not going to go there right now. Okay, so I am definitely overcomplicating this for myself. Oh, that likes the fact that I just taking in a string there. But this message, expected structure, string, get user input. do I want you just to be like that? Change to message2.string. Wait. Oh, message2.toString. Well, that's because this thing is saying that it wants a full message. Now I have get user input. Oh, this is also erroring. This is also telling me that it doesn't like this at all. Found type. I don't want you to be full.toString. Now what do you want? You want change message.toString. But if I say I want you to be a reference, get user input. Well, that gets rid of the help, but it doesn't get rid of this error, which is mismatch types, expected structure, standard string string, found string. Or, so expected type, a reference to standard string string, and got this other one here. So this get user input is making in print line, it needs this. Now I wonder if I can just do toString here. But that doesn't help out because the problem is it's saying, hey, inside of this function, I'm expecting this to happen. We're returning this type, and it's not really coming out. So this is definitely just not understanding the type system and sort of moving on to there. So what can I do to sort of like move past this? Because I'm pretty sure that later on in the book, we're going to learn a lot more about this, and then maybe we can come back and fix it later. And I think the big thing is this came about when we're trying to do this match, because I was trying to like break these out into smaller functions before understanding, and so I just converted everything to toString or the standard string string, which of course is a very naive approach and causes its own problems in the end. So, I mean, even if I return a reference to this, it's not like this. It's expected type, standard string string. Like there's problems going on with just doing a match like this. So if I undo all of these changes, we're going to go back to that super long if statement, and we'll sort of like stay with there for right now. And then when we continue on with the book, if we see something, we'll try to remember to come back and fix this, or just in the future projects, keep those in mind. There we go. So no more red. We come back to cargo run. What is temperature? 435. Input temperature 435 F. Okay, so we're back to sort of a good place again, even though this looks terrible and we would want to refactor it, but we'll just not worry about this right this second. Okay, so let's. What is the next thing? Because like I went on to a huge tangent here. Now that we have this temperature, and I believe it's actually a number type because get temperature does return a floating point 32-bit integer, or 32-bit floating point number. Then I want to look up that conversion formula again because I forgot it already. So F2C convert conversion formula. Okay, so F to C, Fahrenheit to Celsius conversion formula to convert temperatures in degrees Fahrenheit to Celsius. Subtract 32 and multiply it by 0.556, or 5 divided by 9. Okay, so I can do this. So convert Fahrenheit to Celsius. Well, we're only going to do that if we're in Fahrenheit and converting to Celsius. So we have this. I don't think we need this print line anymore. We know that's working. But now what I want to do is call, what are you yelling about? Oh, it's never being used, yes. Okay, I want to now call, like create another function. So maybe shadow, well, C temperature. Input temperature I think would be good for this. We can say let input temperature and shadow this. And I think I remember saying that you have to give it another type, or does it not care about that? And then we're going to call a function that does not exist yet, which is convert Fahrenheit to Celsius. And we're going to pass in the input temperature. Now, of course, it's saying does not exist. This is only going to happen if C was this F to C, yes. If F is equal to input symbol, or if F is equal, if capital F is equal to input symbol, then do this. Now I probably, well, just inside of this, we're not really going to do anything else, and we can eventually use matches once we understand the type system enough to do that too. But all right, so let input temperature equals convert to C. Once we do that, then we're going to print line, and we're going to say your temperature in input and symbol is, okay, so we're going to have input temperature. Actually, it's input symbol, isn't it? Input symbol, input temperature. And that's it. We quit out, we're done. So let's save that. Convert to C is not found. Convert F to C. So let's go create that. Then convert F to C. This takes in, well, what type does it take in? Input temperature. Will this tell me what type it needs to take in? Expected, oh, I can do this, it'll probably yell at me. I know that I want to return a F32, and I believe it's taking in an F32. So we're going to have temp, temperature, F32. And that changes it now to say, hey, you're not returning anything. So let's go and do that. Let's the algorithm is subtract 32 and multiply by 5 divided by 9. So we're going to take the temperature. So temperature minus 32. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to multiply by 5 divided by 9. And that's what it's going to return, is this. Cannot subtract integer, so this is going to be dot 0 to turn that into a float. Times cannot multiply integer to F32, so this needs to be should have snake case name. So it doesn't like this. Convert Fahrenheit to C. All right, so no more errors on that. Now this needs to be convert F to C. And then we have print line your temperature in, okay, perfect. And kind of like we're going to, I almost see this, this going outside, and we're going to just update and make this mutable again. Because I kind of want to do this now. So mute of input temperature, and now we're just going to overwrite. It's going to be the same type as before, so that should be no problem whatsoever. I'm going to put that down here. And that way we only have one print line. All right, let's give this a shot, see how it looks. Cargo run. What is the temperature you want to convert? Well, let's say it's 32. Is this temperature in F or C? And C or F? This is F. Your temperature in F is 0. So I foresee one problem right now, which is that I want to change the type. So we want input symbol to also be mutable, because if we're doing F, I also want to have input symbol become the opposite, C. And this is now needs to be toString because I've been doing that for everything. So I need to continue doing that. Let's do it again. So 32, F, your temperature in Celsius is 0. Okay, that's an easy one. Let's do another one and see what happens. But this time, I'm not going to give it 32. I'm going to give it, how about 55? It's in Fahrenheit. Your temperature in Celsius is 12.77779. Okay, well, let's go to Google and find out what F to C for that is. So F to C, 55. 55 Fahrenheit is 12.7778. So slightly different, and it's probably due to the differences in whatever programming languages float that they used. But it worked. This is kind of like, this is doing good. Let's try another one. If we do cargo run, let's do like 300. Very hot. This is in Fahrenheit. Temperature in C is 148,889. Okay, so this seems to be working now. Now the next thing is to find out the C to F. So C to F formula. Temperature in degrees T's. So it's literally just multiply by 9 divided by 5. So of course it's the opposite. I don't know why I looked that up. It's exactly this, but the opposite here. So we can now have function convert C to F. We take in a temperature, which is an F32. We return an F32. And we're going to return, so it's going to be the temperature, plus, I wonder if I can just literally do this the opposite, or if it's going to be, because over here they have it as multiplied by 0.9 divided by 5 plus 32. That's probably what it should really be. So multiplied by, and then another parentheses here. And it's going to be 9.0 divided by 5.0. Wait, did I do that wrong? Oh no, it's exactly right. Plus 32. Dot 0. To convert it into a float. Okay, now it's just saying, hey, you're never using this. So convert C to F. Now we're going to do the exact same thing over here. We're going to say else. Now we already have said it cannot, if we get to this point, we know that we have a C or an F. So I don't even need to do like an else if. It can just be purely else. And now we're going to have input temperature, input symbol, no, input temperature is going to be convert C to F. We're going to pass it input temperature. And then input symbol is going to become f.toString. All right, so that gives me, what this really should do is allow me to convert, allow me to convert exactly how I want it to be. So let's do this cargo run again. What temperature do you want to convert? Fahrenheit. Oh, yep. 44. C or F. This is in C. Your temperature in Fahrenheit is 111.2. Is that correct? C and 44 in C to F. So I guess so, because between 40 and 50, that looks like it right in the middle there. So that's probably very, very close to what it really is. If we do 0, it's 32. So it got it and working correctly. I kind of want to change how it's worded here. So your temperature is, and then we're going to do the input temperature, input symbol. So I'm just going to reverse these around. Uh-oh. Input symbol. Okay, so 32, this is F, it's 0C. Oh, I need a space. $33 C. All right, so it's working here. Oh, we've got a Fahrenheit to Celsius in Rust conversion. All right, things that can be better. Once we understand the matches, we can do the matches here potentially. We can also do the matches. We can do a match. Where is it? Right here. And we can also, maybe once we understand it, not have everything be standard string string, but other things. But for sort of like the beginning and playing around a little bit with functions, I think that this is a good start. I'm going to go ahead and push this up. All right, conversion is working. The link to this code is in the description for this video. So if you want to go sort of take a look, see what the latest version of that is, it is there for you. Okay, so with that, I'm going to close this out. Let's go find our learning rest. And then I have what we were doing in the README here. This repo, the learning rest one, the one that has the really awesome issue on it that's sort of explaining what's going on with types and parse, has this here. Convert temperatures between Fahrenheit and Celsius. I think what I want to do also is put a link to here is in chapter 3 created the following projects. And then this can now just move up. You are going to become a link to my GitHub repo, which I need to find now. I'm just doing this now because if I don't, I will forget to do it, and that will be sad. Okay, so here's the Fahrenheit to rest. There's our temp convert. I will copy this, put it in here. So now, even after I finish and remove it from the stream description, you can still find the convert temperatures to rest in here. So, which means the next one is going to be generate the nth Fibonacci number. That's a fun one. So let's go ahead and get this pushed up. So F2C project created and sending on up. Okay, generate the nth Fibonacci number. It is 753, but what I'm going to do is maybe sort of like create the project on its own, and it's going to be completely empty. We'll like start doing actual work on it tomorrow, but I'll sort of like set myself up so I don't have to take time in the morning doing that. Okay, so which means I'm going to want to create this as a link. Let's go back to GitHub, new repo. What is generate nth? So nth fib. I can never remember how to Fibonacci. Nth Fibonacci rest. And I'm actually going to do snake case for this one. Public, private. I don't know if I already need to read me, but license. I'm going to make it available for everybody. Git ignore is rust. Create repo. So I'm going to go in here. All right, so now I have, this is what we're going to work on next. We can update this. beginning work on fib. Send that on up. And we're going to clone this down. So we're in learning Rust. We're going to come back down here, do a git clone, nth Fibonacci, going to cd into nth Fibonacci, and we're going to do a cargo. I'm going to make this the top so I don't block it. So cargo, is it new? Yeah, it is new dash dash bin, and then this is going to be nth Fibonacci. All right, so it created this binary application. If we cd into it, we can now do cargo run, and we get the standard hello world. So everything is sort of set in there. It's all prepared for us tomorrow. Okay, with that, thank you for stopping by. Thank you for watching the VOD if you're watching the VOD. Thank you again for CJ for the shout out, and I hope that any of you who have watched this, if you have not seen CJ's stream, he's streaming every single day, Coding Garden. He has a pretty awesome stream. He's doing some really cool things. Today at 2:20, he's gonna walk a newbie through something code related. All right, so besides that, I am streaming these streams every single morning at 7 a.m. Mountain Time. I am obviously going through Rust, the entire Rust book right now. And once I finish that, I'm going to sort of apply Rust in creating some interesting things. Not sure yet exactly what that will be, but if you have any ideas, you want me to do anything with that, I have in my streaming, this is my learning Rust. I believe, oh, I don't have it in my morning stream here. I'm gonna add this to my my description here. But I have in my morning stream, where it is, live stream. In my live stream repo, I have issues. So these issues are perfect for, hey, we're currently working on learning the Rust project. If there's anything you'd love to like sort of see me do, add a new issue, upvote some issues, add some comments on what kind of things that you would love to see. I'm gonna add that right now to here. Oh, I already got that. I have a backlog of ideas for the stream. Go and upvote and comment on them or add new issues. All right, with that, I hope that you have a great day and I'll see you tomorrow morning.